Hello, my name is Trisha. Welcome to my channel, Career Clinic with Trisha. It's so good to have you here once again. Thank you so much for dropping by and thank you for all the support. I'm really grateful. So if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified of my next video. Welcome once again. It's good to have you here. Career Coaching and Mentoring class is brought to you by Sedat Consult with support from Logo Brand. Please contact Logo Brand on 0203954216 for all your branding and graphic designing needs. Today we are talking about the importance of networking for your personal and career success. And like I said, we had a very interesting session on Instagram. And my guest today is the one and only, my sister in the service of God and country. She is a very adorable person. My guest today is Cynthia Mawulawoe. Kodowu. I got it right?
Yes, you did.
Thank you so much. Cynthia is a life coach, an experienced HR professional, director of Near Onim Foundation, founder of HR Network Africa, of which I'm a proud member. She is an HR director with Casa Chasaco Limited. Let's get to know a bit more about Cynthia. Cynthia has over 20 years of professional experience from education, banking, to social entrepreneurship, to insurance, to retailing, to hospitality. The experience is so massive. She is a business strategist and also considers herself as a lifelong learner. She enjoys solving problems and helping people solve their problems. And she likes driving professionals to meet their learning and professional development goals. Cynthia has delivered training in employable skills, relationship management, youth empowerment, dealing with millennials, discovering your true potential, the youth and career, effective management of self-worth, amongst many others. She is an MC extraordinaire, and I can attest to that. With many years of experience on the stage, she has hosted programs such as Miss Wezo, Fashion Show 20. She's also hosted many popular Ghanaian artists, launched many companies, programs such as SIC, Tourism Board, GBC, and hosted lunchtime rhythms. Wow, a morning news with Volta Premier FM, and also did radio drama for UN, United Nations, through GBC Radio 1. Ladies and gentlemen, your guest and my guest, Cynthia. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us today. I know how busy you are, and I know that right from here, there's another program you are hosting, so it's been back to back. Yet, for the love of what you do, for the love of the impact you want to make in the lives of people, you always make time for us. Thank you so much for joining us. We are privileged to have you here.
Thank you very much, Patricia. It's an honor to be hosted by you. As I did tell your followers on Instagram, once you understand, actually humbling to have the opportunity to be invited by you. For me to have made the selection onto your list, man, I'm writing it right up there in my CV.
Oh.
I'll put it right there.
We are the privileged ones. We are
so grateful to.
Thank you so much. We're talking about networking. We are talking about the importance of networking for our personal and career success. So what is networking? When we say networking, what exactly do we mean?
Okay, so when we say networking, we're simply looking at that deliberate and intentional establishment and nurturing of a long-term or mutually beneficial relationship, okay, between you and others, where you need to, wherever you find yourself, you have the opportunity to network with others. It could be at the church, it could be at the mosque, it could be at the pub, it could be at a book lounge, at the office, in association meetings and what have you. you do get that opportunity to connect with people so that they can get to know you, and then you can also get to know them. Now, networking sometimes even happens at our blind sides. Someone just simply offers you a cup of water, and that starts that long relationship that you tend to have for years, which becomes mutually beneficial to you. Now, networking is so different, as I did tell your other followers, that it's so different from bootlicking. Now, what I mean by that is so simple. Networking is where you take a seat backwards to look at your career goals, look at your personal goals, and decide on who it is you want to connect with. So at the office space, for example, you need to understand who can actually influence your career for you, who can make a difference in your journey. And that is why we say that it is a deliberate and intentional, planning that you do. You don't just get up and start forming, connections here and there. You must understand what it is you want out of those connections. Who mentions your name when you are not there at that table of influence? At some point in your career, it doesn't matter how many credentials you have actually had. What matters at that level is what is the worth of your network? Because the worth of your network is what is going to open that door for you. That is what is going to give you that next promotion. Because when it comes to that serious moment where people want to take the decision to decide who becomes the next head, people will be asked to place people forward. Now, will your name pop up? If your name is not going to pop up, it's most probably because you do not have anybody that knows you at that table. And that is why you can actually be in an environment with people and they tend to grow, but you never do. And you want to blame it all on every other person. You are your own enemy. Bootlicking is where deliberately you just want to pretend and then you're all over people and all that without even knowing exactly what it is you want. You want very simple favors. That is so different from networking. In networking, there's always a give and a take. And so you just don't approach people because you want them to be in your connection. You need to understand what it is you have as an individual to be able to step forward and also give to them. So for example, my friend may be a writer. Now, what do I want from this writer? Perhaps I want the ability to learn how to cognitively look at things and be analytical and all that. That's what I want from my friend. Now, what can I give back to that person? What I can give back, perhaps, is that I have that ability of sitting down to read items and be very objective about my perspective. So what I'll be offering them is that objective perspective where they can actually look at it and then be able to improve their lives. And so networking has always been a two-way street where you take something from someone and then you give something in return. And so if you're asking what is networking, actually, that is what it is. You must step out. You must be able to create the connection. You must maintain and nurture that connection. These are very important in trying to have a very solid network around you.
Thank you. I love the bit about being deliberate about it, so that it means that it won't just happen, and it's not just about belonging to a particular association, but what it is that you give and deliberately give is what will count for the networking.
Absolute truth, Patricia. Now, look, it doesn't happen as you see in the movies or, it's not magic. It's not magic. Networking is a very deliberate thing. You need to set out to say that this is what I want to do. So, for example, if you decided to actually go out there and create a network for yourself, there are things you need to do, such as you need to start from a point of motivation. Now, why do I want to network with this individual? What do I gain at the end of the day? For the office space, normally our motivation is for our career growth. You want to make it on that succession list. You want that when the time comes and your boss has to retire or is terminated or decides to resign, your name pops up because you think you've worked hard enough to deserve that seat. And so you form the right networks with your boss, and with other people, because you always must bear in mind that it's a circle. So it doesn't end at one person. If you get very comfortable with just one person and they move out of that network, you are still at a loss. And so that is how come, don't let just your boss know what you are doing. Let every other person that's around you be able to see what it is you're doing. You need to find that relationship commonality with them. You must have a plan and a goal in mind. Don't just join, today you see that they are forming this one, then you are there, tomorrow you are there. So they pull membership, your name is everywhere, yet you are not gaining anything from any of these connections. Your name is everywhere, yet nobody knows you because you're not even making the effort to get to know anybody. So you attend that special event, yet you don't even say hello to anybody till you go home. That is pointless. You might as well stay at home. But because networking is deliberate, you need to be able to plan it. You need to be able to set that goal for yourself. You need to follow up and follow through. Now, when I say follow up, it means that after we have met at that interactive session and we leave, we part ways, you need to be able to touch base with me with relevance. With relevance. Now, a lot of times people simply reach out to, hey, hi, yes, we met, yes, long time. That's it. No, you don't do that. You need to follow up and follow through. After I have met you at that program where you tell me that you are Patricia Kisi, I keep that name in mind. When I come back, I sit behind my computer or my phone, I look for you on LinkedIn because that's the professional platform where I should find you. I send you a friend request indicating where we met. Now, once you accept my request, our connection has formed. However, if I never get back to you, the chances of you getting back to me may never happen, because perhaps in stature, in terms of education and what have you, you are far ahead of me. And so I'm not even in your very close circle, so we'll never have the opportunity again. But I need to be able to now understand what it is I want from you. For example, if I want you to mentor me, I have to officially now tell you that I have seen your profile and it has A, B, C, and D. And these are things that I aspire to have. And so I would love the opportunity for you to mentor me. It becomes a deliberate relationship between us, where I know that I want to be mentored by you. In return, there's something they call the reverse mentoring. So I will be giving you feedback as to the interaction we're having and some other aspects of your life or business. I may even become your next ambassador, telling people about your brand, your product, and pushing people to you. And that's why networking is a two-way street. Use your professional networks and connections. Use it. Go to LinkedIn. Use it so that you can maximize your worth. Now, I tell people all the time, Jeff was just having a good go at it. I go fishing. I enjoy fishing on LinkedIn. I go fishing. I take my fishing rod, which is my pen and my book, and I sit right there. And then the internet is my net. And then I start to scout. I'm scouting for people who can influence my career. I'm scouting for individuals that I think have something that I need for my growth. And that is why before you begin all of this, you should know your points of motivation, because that will help you understand the kind of individuals you want to put in your network. So I go fishing, I start to look out for, prominent people who do motivational speeches, coaches, very expensive coaches here and there. And then I start to write out and reach out to them. Now, you just don't go out there and just send a link and that's it and say I've read your book when you have not read the book, because at some point you make a fool out of yourself. So research about that individual. Try and go deep into their profile. What is it that they have that you're looking for that can benefit your network connection? Then you start to put it in there. In the professional space, for example, Pat, if for some reason you don't know the people to reach out to, the first thing to do is to look for your boss's own account on LinkedIn and check all his connections. That will start to give you a fair idea as to what kind of professional networks you need to be in. I share a typical example with you when I was at Barclays, for example. Now, the Treasury Department, before you could become a dealer or back office trader, you needed to have done a course in Peter Skerrit. Now, we lived in the bank, we served many years. People in my team were aspiring to work at the Treasury Department, and we didn't know that there was any such thing. So every time an opportunity came, we applied. We never got called, and we were always upset. Well, like, you see, yes, because you're not bootlicking, they didn't call you. Because you are not involved in the politics, they didn't call us. We are so qualified. Until my coach then said to me, you're doing something wrong. You don't know anybody in that department, yet you want to go to that department. And that is where people mistake the bootlicking and the networking. Because they feel like, hey, because you are going all around your boots. No. You need to know someone who has, gone on that path, that professional path, so that you can connect with those individuals to better understand what it is you need to do, the specific courses that you need to do to be able to get to that position. I remember classically that I walked one day, and please don't do it. I don't know how it may work for you. I had the opportunity, for example, I had the opportunity where I was actually going to work, and then the head of corporate was by the elevator. And I debated whether to climb the staircase because I was too shy to greet her or say anything to her, or to join her in the elevator. Now, I was already there when she came, and I was feeling so awkward. And then she was like, oh, good morning. So I was like, yes, good morning. I mean, I stammered through it. And then I started trying to go towards the staircase. But unfortunately, the lift just opened up. And she was like, oh, come on, let's go. I was like, oh my God, did this have to happen today? So right there, she goes like, hi, I've never met you in the bank. What's your name? And she just tries to strike a conversation with me very early in the morning. I've not even eaten. I'm like, oh, what is this? Witches and wizards, you want to kill me. And I knew her, but then I remembered that was my moment to have my elevator pitch.
Yeah.
That was my moment. And so I went straight into it. I mean, the things I said, oh my God. I just went like, oh yes, I do know you, but you do not know me. My name is Cynthia. I work in the engine of the bank. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. What is the engine of the bank, And then I walked her through the things I did, and she was like, wow. I'm telling you, it was less than a minute ride to my office, because I was on the first floor. She was going way up to the 4th floor. But that was a beginning of a conversation that opened many, many doors to me. Now, because I had that conversation with her, she wanted to follow up to know me better, because she realized then that although she was head of corporate, she had never been onto the operations floor and didn't know what we did at all. But I had opened the door. And so she started encouraging me. One day she asked, what do you really want to do? And then I realized that in my network connection, I didn't have anybody in the corporate space, although I desired to work in there. So this is what I did that I said you shouldn't do. I sat back, looked at all the heads, and then I realized that I wanted to occupy a particular position in the corporate space. I woke up one day, walked to the office of that director, and I said, good morning, sir. He was like, yes, good morning. I said, I know you do not know me, but I have admired your seat for so long. I want to tell you that if you decide to get up from this seat, I want to be the candidate to sit right there. He looked at me in awe, was shocked. But that was a beginning of a very beautiful relationship, a connection that opened so many doors to me later on. I just brought that emphasis so you can see that when you get that moment, you need to take advantage of it. Join associations that can influence your career. I am in some professional associations, such as the Executive Women's Network, and that opens many doors to me because I get access to coaches, to mentors, to supervisors. Join IHRMP because you need it. You need that badge to make you look relevant. Join ACCA group. Any grouping that you think can influence your career, try and be part of that grouping so you can make that journey as quickly as possible. Pay it forward. Look for opportunities to provide value to your network people. As I did say, it's a give and take. It's not a one-sided relationship. So look for the things that you can also offer people in your network and offer it. That way, they value your connection and then they expand your connection for you. Practice your elevator speech. If I had not practiced my elevator speech, when that opportunity came, it would have been difficult.
Yeah.
So try and get yourself, in that groove where you try to know people and then try to move forward in terms of networking. And so for me, to leverage on your network, that's exactly what you need to do.
So then what I'm gathering is that it's not cheap. It comes with a lot of hard work, investment.
Yeah.
So is it really worth it? Why must we spend time, efforts, and sometimes money to build our network? How is networking important to our personal success? Why must we really make the time to do this?
Now, Patricia, a lot of people have had many blessings because of network. I am getting this opportunity to speak on your platform because we are in the same connection.
Yeah.
And every other person that has joined us has had this privilege simply because they belong to our connection. Because they do know you, they do know your brand. And that's how come we are getting this session for free.
Yeah.
Now, if you do not know people, you pay so much money all the time as well. So for personal life, for example, if, for example, you do have, let's say, a party, as I did share, and you know some key musicians, even if they decide to charge you, because of your network connections, they would reduce it so much for you, just so that you can have that opportunity. As I did say, if I had a party and I already know, let's say, Shatawale, and I've known him all my while, and we've been in the same network, and I say, Charlie Shatta, I have this gig. Can you come and, feature yourself, even if it's just a minute, so people know that Charlie Mito, I know relevant people. You will definitely pass through because we have that connection, because we're friends. So on our personal level, it does help us. I did share with the other team that I have had so many blessings because of the networks that I have. I had the opportunity of speaking at the CFA, the Chartered Financial Analysts Conference, where their global president came, Paul Smith. And I got that opportunity to speak to Paul, and he took so much interest in my growth, only because Yvonne Akpabli got me connected to that opportunity. Now, if I didn't know Yvonne, the chances of getting that opportunity are probably negative points, whatever you can think about. Yeah. But because I did know Yvonne, she managed to open that door for me. And then I stepped out there, and then CFA now took me on to do other things for them. That is the power of my connection. That is what it did for me. It helps you and your friends to know each other better. It helps you and your neighbors to know each other better. Now, if you go out to network in your personal life, in your neighborhood, you tend to know the people that live around you. If you have any difficulties, you can reach out to them. It could be a very simple plumbing work. If you knew that your next door neighbor is a plumber, you probably not go out there and be stressing yourself out. If you knew that your next door neighbor is a policeman, if armed robbers were attacking you, you know actually the number to dial in. And so from that personal level, it really does help you if you can know the people better. As I did say, you may know them even personally. The very day you step into that room for that contract to be signed, and you realize that the individual to sign that contract is that next door neighbor you have not been saying hello to. Do you think you are getting that deal? You probably may not. And so networking is very, very essential. It helps you to get mentors and coaches and sponsors free. There are individuals out there who specialize in mentoring and coaching. Now they charge. They charge for these services because it's business to them. Yeah. Now, if you do know them as a result of your connection, they may be offering you most of these services for free, which is true. Now, through my association and my networks, I have had so many opportunities of people just mentoring and coaching me for free, including a world-acclaimed coach, Lana Cross. She mentors and coaches me for free. It was only because I happened to be in W50, and through that, I met her. So she gives me her services for free. So mentoring can offer you coaches and mentors for free. Now, networking can also help you to gain insights from the personal level. Now, for example, if your child attends GIS, but you're a very, very busy parent, you never get a chance to go to see the class teacher. You don't even know which children your child is fraternizing with. If you had a connection with another parent in that group, they may be able to pass on very vital information to you, such as how your child is performing, whether they think your child is picking up some bad habits, if someone was abusing them, because children talk. So, Kofi may have told the mother, Uncle George has been doing this to Arabina. You get your information from there because you have that connection. It also helps you to accelerate, even in your, family circles, very easily. Anytime they are looking for someone that can do something of influence, because you have that network power there, people just draw on you, and then you become relevant to them. You're able to volunteer your services to nurture other people in your community. So on the personal level, this is how network can actually impact you and make you very relevant in the society that you find yourself in.
This is insightful. So that means that even when we are talking about networking for our career success, part of it is the fact that the community that you are living, share an example, like you have your neighbor, you've never said hello to the neighbor before, you enter an interview room for a job, and the person will make the decision to give you a job is that neighbor you've never even greeted or said hello to.
Yes.
So it means that yeah, go ahead.
No, you finish, but.
So it means that not networking could really be very costly.
It is extremely costly. It is extremely costly because from the very simplest of things to the biggest of things, you can actually find yourself wanting and you would just be lost. Look, the power of your network can even save your own life. Yeah. You can actually be involved in, an accident somewhere, and because somebody else knows you, who is a nurse or a doctor, may just be able to push you through the door. Someone can identify you. You've watched movies where people want to beat up somebody, and it's just one individual that says, no, hold on. He's not a thief. I know him. That person vouches for you because they know you from networking. So it is very, very essential. Now, at some point in our career, we are tempted to think that when you bend yourself in hard work and you just get your job done on time and all that, it is enough to get you that promotion. It is always not so. It is always not so. When you are not in the room, names come up when we have to decide who must be promoted. Now, who is at that table mentioning your name? Who believes in your potential? Who thinks that Patricia has what it takes to be able to make that role work? It is the power of your network. If you have network with that individual, if you have that connection with that individual, they will vouch for you. They will sit up there and fly your name. And they'll say, but don't you know this person? Or that other person? And that is why I always say to some people, do not shy away from the opportunities that you get to network with very key people in your organization. Earlier on in my career, I used to be extremely shy when someone says, oh, you know what, they're having this cocktail, can you come? I just look at the list of people who are supposed to be over there. I'm like, this one is not my class. Who am I? And then I shy away. But I'll tell you the benefits of networking. When I decided to now take the opportunity to be out there, it opened doors for me. The MD in no time spotted me, and when she's going to play golf, she takes me along. Now, if you went to golf session with an MD, who do you expect to see there? Other MDs.
Exactly.
So you now get the opportunity to be known by other MDs, not just your MD that you're working with, but other MDs. So that when that time comes that you need to dip in there for something, you have someone to rely on. And so you need to take advantage of it. The other benefits that you actually gain, Patricia, from networking is that it helps improve your own confidence. It helps improves your experiences and your skills. Now, a lot of times, people are exposed to so many other groupings where they have training and what have you. If you do not network with these people, you would never know that there are these free resources that you can actually tap into. I will share a story with you. I had a friend since we were growing up. She's older, and she became my mentor as the years went by. I got privileged. I had a scholarship to study University of California. It wasn't because I was the most brilliant woman on earth, no. Because with all the credentials at the time I had, which wasn't even much, I didn't know about this program at all. I did not. But from her circle of connection of network, she got to know that that opportunity exists. She took the course, which is the W50 course. And then when it was another year, she said, Cynthia, I'm reaching you. I'm sending you the forms, fill it out, and also send it. And that's how come I got selected among the world's 50 to be there to receive that training, which otherwise I could never have afforded at all, because it's $20,000. I don't have that kind of money. But through the power of my network, I had that free education thanks to somebody who was in my network. And it did help. Now, the benefit of that network was that it didn't end with her. I now find myself with 49 other women from around the world who now connect me to different opportunities. Different opportunities, and which has been very beneficial to me. So networking really, really, really is essential, and does give you a lot. It increases the value of your relationship currency. Now, every time someone sits somewhere and recommends you for a job, that's your relationship currency. How much value people have placed on what it is they think you have and who they think you are. It really pushes you forward. I shared a story with the other group. My friend has been looking for a job for a while now, almost 6 months or more in UK. And then she's just casually chatting with a friend who goes like, you know what, there's an opportunity on a project that we're running. Maybe you can help us find someone. He was like, help you find someone. I'm here. He was like, oh, I didn't even know you're looking. Okay, let's see. The next day she gets a call, and this is Mark. I'm reaching you because your friend has vouched for you. She was like, oh, really? Do you have any questions for me? That's the interview. Do you have any, the interviewer is asking her if she has any questions for him. And she's like, no, I don't. I said, okay, thank you very much. You're starting work tomorrow. Power of her network.
Yeah.
She didn't need to send her CV ahead of herself. Word of mouth sold her off just like that. And she had a very important project to now be part of because her network opened that door for her. It helps you to stay on top of new trends and gives you new ideas. When you're in professional networks, you get to know, the new legislations, bylaws, anything that changes in that space, especially for HR people, the new bill that has been passed. Through our professional network, we got to know. Otherwise, you just be practicing something you don't even know about, It gives you that opportunity to get to know all the notifications, new ideas, new ways that people are doing things. It really enhances your business as well.
Yeah.
It helps you to stand very, very tall in the room. I tell you why. If people can associate you with a certain professional body, a certain social group, it already gives you some umbrella of covering when you enter a certain room. It does. I tell you, for example, I went for an interview, and then whilst I entered, I greeted everybody, sat down, and I didn't even notice there was somebody else, in the corner of the room. And this someone I have networked with virtually, so I didn't know her physically. But because I was coming for the interview and the name did strike a bell to her, she went to check. So as soon as I sat down, after pleasantries, she was like, "You're a member of EWN?" And I was like, "Yes." I didn't know if it was going to work against me or for me. I was like, "Yes." I stammered through it. And she was like, "It's awesome to have you here." And another person on the table was like, "You are in EWN? You really made a list? Wow." And then somebody said, "No, but I think I know you elsewhere. You're on TBR." I was like, "Yes, I'm on Boardroom Africa." She was like, "Wow." So you see, the interview started with wow, without me having to tell them, yes, wow, just like that. And then one of the men was like, "I think we've interviewed her already." If you want the job, it's yours. I was like, whoa. So you see the power of my network, the power of my network, because they feel that the individuals in these networks command a certain clout. They believe that anybody associated with that network must have the same thing. So I could be Tiwi, nobody cares. I am in the right environment, and that is what matters, because they know that even if I need help, I can reach out to these people and they can help me easily.
Yeah.
It helps you to get sponsors. I keep saying this. It helps you to get sponsors, mentors, partners, clients, and free ambassadors. That's what mentoring does for you. It opens doors for you.
It does.
It helps you to get free advertising. You see, your network, sometimes you post something and you want people to get to know about it. The people in your network, they pick it and they start to share all over. Instagram, Twitter, everywhere they are, they put it there. You will be on platforms you have never been yourself, because you don't belong to those networks. But the power of your network now opens those doors for you. It helps you to find connections that would later become even role models to you. It opens the next promotion door for you. It gives you that board placement. As I said earlier, at some point in your career, Patricia, you don't need your CV. Believe it or not, at some point in your career, you don't need your CV, because your CV will contain every other thing that every other individual that is being considered has. What next makes you different is the power of your network. Who is going to mention your name at that table? Who is going to say that they know you? I keep saying, and I did say to you earlier, that I have never believed in who knows you. You know, people go like, no, sorry. People go like, no, it's who you know. Yeah. No. It is who knows you. Who knows you? Who knows Patricia as a brand that you can go to? Who knows how reliable and intelligent you are? Who knows that you can do the job so that they can go back to the shareholders and give a good account for themselves? Because mind you, when we put names forward, we also put our reputation on the line. Yes. Now, Patricia, let me ask you, would you have two candidates, one that you know and one that you do not know? Will you put the one you do not know forward comfortably?
No, not at all.
Absolutely no. Because once it becomes an issue where your reputation is on the line, you would rather want to go with someone you know, so that even if they are deviating, you already have a relationship where you can check them. Yeah. So you can freely tell them your mind. You're like, hey, this is my reputation you're joking with. We're not going to have it this way. And so it is easy for us to always go, you know, in the line of those that we can associate with. And that is why I say that in the power of networking, it has to do with who actually knows your worth. So you must make yourself known, be visible, use your voice so that people can connect with you. It also gives you that unique access to resources, which helps you to enhance your career. As I did tell you, until I met that individual who told me that, look, you needed to have written an exams from Peter Skerrit for you to even be selected. I didn't know. So you will be there for so many years, you will never make the cut. And you will blame it on all the witches and your grandmothers, but you would actually be the one that you have the one creating that problem for yourself. But if you can identify key people in networking who can tell you that to be as you know, as most of us are desiring for a CHRO, you need to have SHRM, SPHR, CIPD, and all that, CHRA. You start to shape your mentality and start to work towards it. You start to invest money towards getting the necessary certifications that you think can put you in the space where you need. You start to identify that there are so many aspects of the job you are doing. For example, if you were in finance, you would know that there are management accountants, there are financial accountants, you know, there are people who just do reconciliation, there are people who do receivables, payables, and all that. And so you start to understand deeper that, oh, okay, so for me to be here, I need to do A, B, C, and D. And it's only networking that can give you that opportunity. It also helps you to be able to get up-to-date information, which I've already shared.
Yeah.
It helps you attract new opportunities. People start to see you in the network and start to suggest to other people that job they spoke about, they think you're the best person for it. And you may have never even imagined. In fact, sometimes you're even at that point of your career where you're not even looking for a new job.
Mm-hmm.
Yet your network does that for you. My sister, Sarah, she's never applied for any job, never in her life. She's never had that, job that we have to sit down and write, dear hiring manager, I'm applying. No, she's never had that. Instead, she's had all the way recommendations throughout. She'd be there, she would have a call from Libya, from wherever, and they're like, we're reaching you from Golden Tulip headquarters, and we're calling you because you have been recommended by so and so who came to your hotel, and if you are willing, we can have this interview now. The job is yours tomorrow. And that's how it's been for her. That's how it's been for her. And also thriving on other people. Yes, also thriving on other people's network, using my network and all other networks to her benefit. And that's what has happened for her. It helps you to just attract opportunities just like that. It also becomes your security net. So when you don't have a job, when you have too much work to do, when you have some family duties to take care of, your network can help you. Because when you are jobless, those people in your network may just be the ones going around to find you that next opportunity, or they will find you that help that you need. And so as for the benefits of networking, we can go on and on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But all that you need to know is that it does make a huge difference in your success region.
So the difference, I can comfortably say that the difference between those who are successful and those who are not could be their network.
It is their network.
Wow. It is their network. If networking is this important, so for example, if you know that your life depends, your success depends on networking, why is it that we are not networking or we are not doing it right? What are the obstacles? What stand in our way? What stops us from networking as we should?
What stops you is you. It is you. You know, our personality pitfalls, the very nature of who we are, can become that pitfall for us where we are unable to connect with other people because perhaps by your very nature, you're an introvert. You'd rather stay in your corner and not have any interaction whatsoever to, with any other person. That can become the barrier for you to have the ability to network with other people. You could be a very shy person. And so going out of your comfort zone to interact with people becomes very difficult for you. Your insecurities. I'm inadequate. I don't think I'm good enough to be here with these people. They will look down on me. All those become limitations to you. And you can actually build imaginary blocks in front of you and never have the opportunity to interact with people. Inadequate knowledge. Now, sometimes we write ourselves short in terms of how much we know. Other times, it is in fact true that we do not know much. And so it makes it difficult for us to really connect and stay in touch with people. Now, it's a deliberate relationship you have formed, but you must nurture that relationship. To nurture that relationship, as I did tell you, it's a give and take. So what do you know that that individual can also use? Because it's a reverse relationship. What do you know that that individual can also profit from? And here you are, you don't do any research, you don't read, you don't know anything about it, yet you want that person to be in your network. It's impossible, Trish. It is just impossible. For example, you have someone in your network who's just won an award, but because you don't read and you don't follow anything, you didn't even know. And here you are, you've gone back to them and you're asking them for help, and they're just staring at you. How do you feel when someone doesn't even show appreciation for the strides that you're making? No matter how far people get on the ladder, they still want to be appreciated for who they are. And so it is very essential that you equip yourself with knowledge, gather knowledge, so that when you have the opportunity, you can share thoughts that are meaningful to the other party. Fear of embarrassment. The last time I tried to talk to that girl, she just snubbed me. So, me dear, I'm minding my business. It will not help. Try again. If you meet 1,000 people and they say no, you would definitely meet one person that will say yes. And that yes may be more valuable than the 1,000 people put together. So the fact that you tried it once and it didn't work shouldn't become that limiting factor for you, because then you don't gain from it. Have any relevant conversations. So every time you meet me, oh, how are you? I'm fine. How is your household? They are fine. And that's it. Why should I want to spend more time with you? Nothing comes out of our relationship. And so I wouldn't want to spend more time. And very serious-minded people, if you're not coming with something relevant, they will cut you out of their connection. Closed books. There are people who simply don't want to speak to anybody because they feel that everybody is a stranger. But that's what I was telling them. Before you were born, every other thing was a stranger to you, including the womb that you occupied. It was a stranger to you. I say for a fact that I didn't know my mother and my father's face until I came out. They probably spoke to me when I was in the womb. I don't remember. But I so know that I didn't see any picture of them, their faces before I actually popped out of that stomach. And when I came out, even that doctor and that midwife that said push, 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 they were all strangers to me. But I started to communicate to them by crying, so they know that I can speak. And so every other person that comes your way is first a stranger. But what breaks their ice is your ability to communicate to that person. So if you're shy, if you're incapable of saying hi, look for their interest points and take a move. If you think that they like BNFT, for example, one day out of the many days, just buy the special edition of BNFT and offer it to them. Oh, hi. And give it to them even if you can't say anything else. I thought you would find this relevant. Give it to them. The next time, they will now move to you and want to strike a conversation with you. You have won a friend into your network. If you think they like a particular book, either get yourself that author and start reading so that you have common things you want to discuss. So if I think that Patricia likes to read from, let's say, Jeffrey Archer, I buy myself a Jeffrey Archer book, a used one if I can't afford a new one, read the story so that I also have something to share. So when I have that opportunity with Trisha, I say, Jeffrey Archer on this and that, and then we have a common thing to discuss. Do that and it would help you. I was saying that sometimes cultural differences can also become a problem to us. Now we feel that this individual comes from this other place, in the country, or comes from a different country, and so we may not have commonalities. And then we shy ourselves, and then we don't even want to have anything to do with them. That can become an obstacle to your networking, abilities. If you could just look beyond the color, if you could look beyond their language and where they're coming from, you may just be able to have a relationship with them. Let me chip in. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she didn't speak a word in English rightly because she never went to school. My parish priest at the time was Irish. Didn't speak any word in any local dialect. Yet, he and my grandmother would have a conversation before church and when they close from mass. Now, so much so that some parishioners will come and call me to go and get my grandmother out of his office so they can see Father. And I always wondered what kind of communication they were having, because this is a man who speaks, even for someone who speaks English, it was difficult for us to follow his tones and diphthongs and all that. And this old lady who spoke no word in English was having conversations with him. It must be angelic, right? But they found a way to go past that moment. So that's what I'm trying to say. You may have cultural differences, but look beyond that and see how you can actually have a common ground and communicate with that individual. You must also be able to have yourself prepared. A lot of times we are unprepared. So when the opportunity comes and the person says, hi, what do? You are now thinking. People don't have People don't have moments to waste. You must have your elevator pitch. You have to rehearse it. Stand in front of your mirror and start to talk to yourself. Pretend you're talking to the other person. Look, if you want to have a very difficult conversation with your boss, go and stand in front of the mirror. Imagine that he's the one standing there. Start talking to him. So say, yes, I am here because I want that salary increment. Yes, I know it's not the right time, but as you know, I have put in a very fair. Prepare yourself. Then when you go, you are just killing it. So a lot of times we are unprepared, and so opportunities are taken away from us. We fail to ask for help. We fail to ask for help. You may be the type that is just unable to blend with other people. Ask your friends for feedback. Let them know what it is that's about you that puts people off, and work on it. Try and understand what it is you're doing, and then you should be able to do it. You should also be able not to treat people as though they were unimportant. A lot of times we go to a space, we imagine that the man that is in the most expensive suit is the most important person in the room. It turns out that that is the driver of the CEO, and he's wasted your whole time. So don't walk into that room just full of biases and writing people off. Every single connection you find out there is relevant somehow to your progress. It's relevant. Even that, I was just giving a scenario of a driver, not because that person is less important, no, but perhaps you went there purposefully to speak to the CEO, and you spent your time looking at the maid servant or looking at the gatekeeper and all that. All these people in your connection very much matter, because as we do know, the gatekeepers are the most influential people when you need that job in that. They are the most influential people. So you can't downright them. So don't enter that space and think that because you saw that man wearing shorts, he's the least of the people gathered there. It may just be someone who prefers that his dressing style is in that manner. So don't go with biases in your mind. Don't go with prejudices in your mind. It can become your limiting factor to meeting that important person that can actually change your success story. Don't use events to peddle your resume. It cuts off your network connection. When you go for a network event, take the moment to know people, fraternize more, build relationships that you can always fall on. Look, there are times that you actually go for a program, you met somebody and you even forgot totally about them. But because that moment, the interaction you had with them was so solid, the next time they see you at the next event, they quickly come to say hello to you because they can remember you, because you spent quality time with them. So you need to be able to spend that moment and make it count. Don't go collecting business cards and credentials. It doesn't help you in any way, because what happens is that if your focus is just on collecting the cards, when you call them, they don't even remember who you are. By the second call, they block your number and you cannot reach them. Have that conversation with that person where it actually gets to that point where they're like, can I have your business card? They even offer it to you without even you asking. They ask you, can I have your business card? Can we exchange cards? At that point, you know that you have made that impression on that individual. So the network connection has been forged. But if you just go with the intent of collecting cards, you forget yourself. I did this once. I was invited by the Nigerian High Commission to a program at Alisa. And when I went, we were so young, and we're young girls from the bank, and all we did was focus, hey, wow, this person is here, hey, this ambassador is there, hey. And then when we went around, because we're young girls, they saw us as pretty girls and all that, they started giving us cards. When we were done, we couldn't put faces to the cards we had. Yes. We didn't know who was what on the card. So if we had spotted some fine boy and wanted to call, you didn't even know which of the numbers was that of the fine boy. Because we didn't even remember the names anymore. We didn't debrief ourselves during that session. We just went on card collection spree. And that can really affect you. Now, it could be an expensive thing to put on your budget. And so it can become an obstacle to many people. Some networks will take a lot of money from you because you need to pay, let's say, subscription fee, and we're having a program here, and tomorrow we are going there, and it can actually put you off. But it's an investment you must make. And if you plan it very well, you should just be able to save enough so that you can participate in these network sessions, which would be of immense benefit to you.
Wow. Wow. Really, some of the things you have mentioned, example, the card collection. We've all fallen victim to that. You know, you go to the room and then you want to just give out and collect, exchange of cards. And sometimes I get back to the office and I'm looking at the card. Whose card is this?
Whose card is this?
So this is really, really, really a very good point to make. So we should rather focus on knowing the people or making the people know us so that they will go a step further to even ask us to call them. And then when you call them already, you have made an impression on their minds. So when you call them, they know who is talking and how the conversation would go. And thank you so much. This is amazing. Now you've told us how important networking is for both our career and personal success. You've told us some of the things that put us off or some of the things that stop us from networking. And these are important. Sometimes our personality, like you said, really becomes a problem. But if you know that networking is very important, that your career success depends on it, then please come out of your shell, come out of your comfort zone, and go out there and make that connection. It's important. It's like the better medicine so that you'll be well. Take it like that. Your better medicine is you coming out so that you'll be able to make that connection. Thank you so much. Now, my question is, and I think this is it. I know how important it is. I want to really be deliberate about it and do this networking. How do I go about it? What is the right way to do networking?
What's the right way for you to actually go out there and be able to network? So the first thing, as I did say earlier on, was for you to first understand your source of motivation. Because you need to understand what kind of network you want to be in. And that must stem from your source of motivation. Why do I want to join this group? What do I stand to gain from this group? What can I give to this group? Once you've been able to answer these questions, it is the start of for you to understand how to network. Once you've defined your point of motivation, you will now need to put down a plan or a goal. Every network connection you create must give you some benefit. In the absence of that, you are either wasting your time and resources. Follow up and follow through. When I say follow up, once you've had the opportunity to meet that individual and you've had that connection established, I did say that. If it's a professional network, get back to your decks, go fishing, look on LinkedIn, look on all the professional platforms and find this individual that you have just established connection with. Send them a request. Put a note so they know exactly who you are, because practice is that a lot of people try to just send you friend requests. And so you want to be a bit selective. I mean, a lot of people are very selective of who it is they grant access to their connection to. Because there are hackers also out there, as you know. So you need to add a note so they know that, oh yes, we did meet at, the CFA event, or we did meet at this other event, so that they can resonate with it. Once you've been able to send that, if it is a social network, reach the people through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, so you can establish that connection with them. Join professional networks right after that. And I did say earlier that if you do not know where to start from, go to your boss's account and start to pick the relevant associations that he or she belongs to start to read about these associations and start to make contact with these associations. There are times that just going into a person's profile on LinkedIn, for example, you may see some association showing there in that person's profile. That's a starting point for you to start to read about that association and then also connect with that association so you can start your journey from there. And then you start to expand your professional network from that zone. Pay it forward. Look for opportunities to provide value for your network. So as soon as you join the group, don't go and sit on the bench and expect that magic will happen for you. You can actually be working in an organization, for example, where you will never know who the CEO is. It's not because he's not available, but because you choose to always be in the corner, because you want to mind your own business. And so you don't even take, the pain to even know who they are. And you can actually be attending a program and someone else will be pointing your CEO to you. What a shame. It does happen a lot of times. What a shame. Look in your network and see what value you can give people. There are people in your enclave who perhaps need some advisory services, and you have it. Take advantage and provide it for them. Sometimes from the beginning, it's free. And then as time goes on, it starts to fetch you cash. So look in that network, see what problems exist and what solutions you can offer. That is what you need to do. Practice, practice, practice your elevator speech, because that is the only thing that leaves the impression on that person's mind. I keep saying that your reputation arrives before you do. Before I invite you into a particular network, I would have spread news about who you are. So whatever I think about you is what I'll sell you for. So if I don't think you're good enough, you will get there, you think you are telling people a lot of things, but nobody is listening because your reputation did precede you. Always sit back, assess your network and see if it is giving you the value that you need. Because if you do not ask yourself how that network is working in your favor, you will simply have a lot of networks and not have any benefits. So reassess your network connections, understand how they are playing out, and then just know if there are still others that you need to put yourself out there for. As much as possible, make the time to attend the events that is organized by these professional networks that you have, because that's where you get to meet other professionals who will now know that you are also in this profession, so that when they have projects or they have new job openings or some other benefits that they want to offer members, your name would actually be put out there. And so those are the few things I can say in terms of the steps you need to take to be able to network.
Wow. Thank you so much. So first of all, have a motivation. So it's not like you're just throwing blows anywhere.
Everywhere and anywhere.
So,
no strategy.
You know exactly what you want. And once you are clear in your mind what you want, then you know who to approach or what network to join.
Yes.
Wow. This is so amazing. Thank you so much. So then it means that, like you said, this is being deliberate. This is having in mind. So if you assess your network and realize that, look, this is not helping me. Sometimes you may have to, cut some people off. It's not
absolutely.
It's not a sin. It's just that they are not going where you are going.
Absolutely.
So you can't move with them.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was telling you earlier, there are times that you actually belong to a circle of friends who can just become that barrier to your growth.
Okay.
They are so possessive. They don't want you out there in any public space. And so any such network that gives you that kind of opportunity, they dissuade you from engaging in it. And that can kill your vision. It can kill your career. So if at some point you see that the circle of your friends are not pushing your brand to grow, it is time to take a step backwards. Love them from afar. Love them in that circle connection, but forge other network connections that will work to your benefit. Because if not, you go to the grave with all the beautiful things that you ever wanted to achieve, only because you felt so aligned to the people that you currently found yourself with. So if you need to disengage, to engage with other people, you have to do that. You simply have to do that.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. This is important. And I think that by this time, we are just talking to ourselves. We are just at this point having a conversation with ourselves that look, I'm losing out. I'm losing out. A lot of things are passing me by. Not because I'm good, I'm not good, but it's because I don't know anybody. Nobody knows me.
Absolutely.
So now I'm going to be deliberate and put myself out there.
Absolutely.
I'm going to forge relationships and make connections that will help me, and that way I'll also make a contribution. And that is important.
Absolutely.
Please.
That's very important.
Yes.
You need to use your voice. You need to use your voice in all the spaces that you find yourself in. Okay. So that people can know what you stand for. You need to be curious, because in trying to be curious, you tend to learn more, and then you're able to give information when you are called upon. You need to be able to give and then take. You must use all the resources available to you to build the connections that you want. The internet is there for you to get the information that you want. Research about the people you want to connect with. There's so much information there. If you read about such individuals, when you interact with them and you start to speak their language. They want you much more around. They want you around. Be very visible. If you are in a certain position, listen, you are unique. There's nobody like you, Trish. You are just who you are. And so people must be able to position you properly. You need to build that power of authenticity. People have to be able to say that I want to be connected to you, because when I'm connected to you, it opens A, B, C, and D doors for me. When I'm connected to you, I gain new ideas. I learn something new. And so you no longer go around searching for network. It comes chasing you. Play it well. It comes chasing you. Also, always bear in mind that perception is co-pilot to the realities that we build around ourselves. You must always align your personality with what the organization is looking out for. So if you want to be able to sit in a particular seat in that organization, you must understand what it is they are looking out for that role. Now, head of L&D, what kind of person is this organization looking for to sit in that chair? They are looking for someone who does a lot of research because it's learning and development. They are looking for someone who is a team player who can bond with people. They are looking for a great teacher, because you will be taking most of the training. So you need to know how to actually connect with people. And so you start to ask yourself, are these characteristics that I have in my personality? When my name is mentioned, do people call these adjectives associated with me? If they don't, it is time to sit back and start to groom those things in you, so that when they start to mention these things, when your name is mentioned, people start checking, oh yeah, she's got it. Oh yeah, she's a team player. Oh yeah, she's smart. Oh yeah. And then you can leverage on your connection. So you need to be able to do that. Pick 5 adjectives that describes who you are and see if it aligns with your overall career path success. If it doesn't, it's time to realign yourself so that you can maximize that opportunity when it actually comes knocking at your door. Don't be visible to just your boss. Do not be visible to just your boss, because that day is going to come when your boss will leave, either by resignation, by termination, by death, or retirement. Now, when that time comes, who else in that organization knows what it is you stand for, knows what you do? Then that individual or the group of individuals will now push you through the ladder. So don't focus on just one person, because when they die, you die along with them. So as much as possible, build a pool around yourself. Build a pool around yourself, and then you should be able to make it. It is net and what? Work.
Work.
It's a net which has a pool of people that can work to your advantage, and you need to work to keep that net. It's as simple as that.
Wow. 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 Somebody's clapping here. You need to work. You need to
Absolutely.
Work. You need to work. This is amazing.
Absolutely.
Francis is also clapping. you need to work. It doesn't come cheap, but it is worth it.
Yes.
It is worth every penny, every minute, every second spent building network. I tell you, a lot of the things as a consultant, I rely so much on my network for the businesses that I get. So much.
Absolutely.
So much. And as an individual, as a professional, you need to have this. We belong to a lot of groupings, associations, all students, associations and all that. We are on a platform, but we are always silent. And nobody
even knows you exist.
Exactly. And when some of us, when we make the noise, people are like, hey, but you see, when something comes up and they need somebody, you are the person they will call. I've had so many calls. Look, this is happening here, and they need somebody to do it. Can you assist? If I was quiet on those platforms, nobody would really,
Absolutely.
An opportunity.
Absolutely.
So please,
and that's why I keep saying that you need to let your voice be heard. You must own that path.
Exactly.
You see, you would determine the pace of your growth because it's a deliberate attempt you're making. So you must be deliberate in all your choices. If they decide to form a committee, you need to be able to raise your hands when they are looking for volunteers. Yeah. I said to you, a lot of times you think that you don't have the intelligence for it, so you shy away from it. Look, I'm not exclusive from that. I've done it so many times. People have asked me to join very important executive committees. I'm like, no, I don't think I can do this, no. But then when I started understanding that you don't need to have all the intelligence to sit in there. All you need is that willing spirit to learn.
Exactly.
That willing spirit to learn. So take that challenge, and when you get in there, use all your network connections to start getting the information you need. Even if it's an accounts job and you didn't know how to do balance sheets, take it and start looking for your friends, all those ones who can do the balance sheets. Don't let them sleep. So they have taught you exactly what you need. Yes. Let them pull their resources for you. Oh yes, let them pull all their resources for you so you can use it. And that is how important it is. That's why your network is actually your net worth. Because at the end of the day, the value of those connections is what is going to make that job or process easy for you. You may have even a contract bidding, and you may not really know all the nitty-gritties of it. A friend perhaps has done it before in your network. If you reach out to them, they may just give you all the blind spots that you may not know on your own. And then once you tap into those ones, you would get the deal. And they also take pride in it. Yeah. Look, when I see my friends put up, let's say Ghana under 40 or the best 100 speakers like Emmeline and all that, I take pride in it because, you also want to stand somewhere and say, you know what, I know Patricia.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you see, yes. Yes. So even the power of your connection can also give you, that fulfillment that you belong to people who are actually excelling and making an impact. So go out there, don't be shy, connect, be deliberate about it. And I'm certain to tell you that you actually will find it very, very fulfilling and very, very profitable for your career.
Wow, thank you so much. Let's be deliberate about it and let's go all out to get it. And let me say that it's something we need to listen to over and over again. That's why we are recording this. And we'll make it available on our YouTube channel, Career Clinic with Tricia, so that you get access to it and you listen to it over and over. And very soon, Cynthia is going to write a book on networking because on Instagram, that it was said that, look, because some of these things you can't get in any book, I'm telling you. And these are things that Cynthia is sharing with us based on experience. She is a serial networker. Let me say if there's anything like that. So we are learning from the best. And indeed, we are privileged to have you, Cynthia. Thank you so much for the time,
you.
for the nuggets you have shared with us. Your final words, so that we can release you. I know there's another event you are hosting at 7, so that I don't take much of your time.
Okay. So, well, as I did say, networking is essentially a very, very deliberate and intentional activity. So don't leave it to chance. Magic cannot make it work for you. You need to be able to sit down and go through the process of understanding who can influence that career, that project, that personal life that you're looking out for. As I did say, all pastors even network. That's why you keep seeing some particular pastors on every single billboard, because they are out there networking. You need to be able to do that for yourself. Prayer alone will not give you all the enhancement you need for that career success. Link up with the people in your organizational space. Bear in mind, it is not who you know, it is who knows your worth. Who is mentioning your name behind the doors? You need a sponsor. Impress on that individual that you are the best for the job. After all, you are the best for the job. You have unique characteristics, unique abilities that no other person has. If you are shy and so you think that it is so difficult for you to reach out to people, practice in front of your mirror. Practice as though you've met that individual. Practice the words you want to say. Narrow down to common interests. Look for things that you love that they also do love. Look for books that they love, or magazines, or something. Some people love cakes. Buy them a cake if you must, to break the ice. The conversation starts from there. Don't shy away from opportunities when you're given. Use your network and get the job done. Don't ever say no just because it's comfortable to say no. Take up the challenges that you want. Be curious about things and people. Don't go lying in your elevator pitch. It would catch up with you.
Definitely.
When you get the opportunity to connect with people, speak the truth as you know it. Let them settle with the truth about you and the rest that they get to know later on. You are better off preserving your integrity than trying to overdo yourself in that moment. Always know that you need to follow up and follow through. Look out for the people in your network that are excelling. Send them simple things such as congratulations. I am proud of you. No matter how successful a person is, they still want to be valued and appreciated for who they are and the achievements and feats that they have actually gained. So go out there, reach out to them. That is what solidifies your connections with them. They will always remember that when they had that award and no one had yet even congratulated them, you did. You leave an impression in their minds that they don't forget. Do not make the mistakes of overly reaching out to people without any information or resource to share with them. Prepare adequately, and for me, once you can do these things, you stand a very great chance of being out there. Look out for the professional network connections that you need for your career success. It is very, very key. You must leverage on that to be able to push yourself forward. Look through your connections and see if there are people in there that do not work for your benefit. Disassociate yourself if you must, or simply go quiet on those networks. They die naturally. Be careful what kind of people you bring into your network, because someday it may work for or against you. And so these are the few things that I can say to you. And I hope that you can go out there, take the opportunity, do not be shy, be deliberate about selecting the groups you want to select. I didn't say go and pick every bar you find out there. Even if you don't drink, and the boss says that the boys are going out to drink, and this actually goes to my sisters. If you don't drink and they say they are going to have a whiskey, you follow them. You put water in your glass and pretend it's whiskey you are taking or whatever. When they ask, you say it's spirit. You took a shot of spirit. So that you can be with them, you can connect with them, you can engage them, and then when the time comes for names to be mentioned, your name will be on that table. Thank you very much.
Whoa, thank you so much, Cynthia. This has been very insightful. Thank you for the nuggets you have shared with us. Please, this one I won't say anything though. Go and do as you have been told. Go and do as you have been told. If you want to be that successful, both in your career and in your personal life, remember that career coaching and mentoring class is brought to you by Sedat Consult with support from Logo Brand. Please contact Logo Brand on 020-395-4216, 020-395-4216 for all your branding and graphic designing needs. And remember that we'll put this video on our YouTube channel, Career Clinic with Tricia. Please do well to subscribe to the channel so that you have access to all the sessions we have had on CCMC, and then also all the career advices that you can get. Remember, it's in your hands.
Absolutely.
You drive the process. So drive it to your advantage. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned a thing or two that will help you to move to the next level in your career. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you have already subscribed, please like this video and share it with your family and friends. Until I see you again, keep preparing for your dream job and your career advancement. Bye.